All right, welcome back, everybody. And we are going to speak about International Men's Day 2019. And with me to talk about that is Kwasi Kojo. He is the coordinator of the Male Program, Office of the Prime Minister in the Gender and Child Affairs Division. With me as well as leading writer, Gershwin Alexander. He's with the Military-Led Academic Training Program, also known as MILAT. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning. Thanks for having us this morning.
Thanks for being here this morning. Now, oftentimes we hear about International Women's Day and we hear about many movements that are geared toward the issues surrounding women and equality for women. But oftentimes, you know, the conversation is not the same when it comes to men. The conversation is a lot less because, of course, there's the perception that, well, it's a man's world and such, but, you know, there's a lot to be spoken about still. So, International Men's Day 2019, tell me a little bit about it.
So, International Men's Day is celebrated annually on November the 19th. And one of the things about International Men's Day, as you so rightfully mentioned, apart from helping to end some of the negative stereotypes that are attached to men, it's also aimed at addressing some of the issues faced by both men and boys.
Right.
So, each year, there's a theme that is coined by the International Men's Day organization or body. And this year, it's gender equality the next 20 years. But what we do is we take that theme, look at our local context, and we, coin our own theme. And this year, our theme is responsible men and boys, because I'm sure we can all agree that, responsibility is an important value trait or characteristic that we as men should have.
Definitely, definitely. And I know Milat is doing their work in the vineyards as it pertains to guiding young men in a direction that would give them roles of responsibility, that would give them discipline, as well as provide opportunities for them as well.
Sure.
You know, how is Milat involved in the conversation about International Men's Day 2019?
Well, when I had the conversation with Kwasi, he said that he's looking for young men to take a leadership role in presenting on the topics that we are covering, right? The topics that we are covering: self-esteem, conflict resolution, and relationships between male counterparts. And I saw MILAT as a perfect organization to present the young men, to present on such topics. All right, I met Kwasi at a symposium on domestic violence.
Right.
All right, and we started to talk, and it led us to creating this partnership between MILAT and the ministry.
And what is the expected outcome of this partnership?
Well, just to give some context about the event, the seminar, we're going to have a seminar, and that's just the beginning of the partnership. So you're going to have a seminar on this Friday the 15th, at the MILAT Training Academy, and we are inviting both members of the public. We invited schools, ministries, and other stakeholder organizations to attend. And as Mr. Alexander said, we are using the young men, the cadets, as we're putting them to the forefront. Because many times when we engage youth, we more instruct them than really engage or interact with them. So they will be making the presentations, and I think that's one of the commendable and interesting things about this particular seminar, because they're going to take, as I say, the leadership role on the day they are in charge.
Right.
So we have been working with them, preparing them to present on the different topics, which they would have shared as well, that they saw based on their life experiences as being critical to, addressing some of the issues not only faced by men, but boys. So coming out of the seminar, we hope to continue, because we have some programs at the OPM that we roll out in communities and schools, and one is called the barbershop,
right,
where, so when you hear the barbershop, it's more than just a talk shop, to be honest.
Right,
but we use that as a catalyst to start the conversation, after which we follow with a number of more in-depth workshops looking at things like men and coping with emotions. We've heard it said, big men don't cry.
Big men don't cry.
Big men don't cry. So, we look at dealing with some of those issues.
Kind of
Man up, because even when you think about emotions during times of separation or divorce, we see some, unfortunately, mismanaged conflict spilling out into the papers.
Right.
Because men, can't deal with disappointment or hurt. Some men, I should say. So coming out of the seminar, we hope to proceed, in a long-term partnership, and not just because let us be honest, this is an awareness building initiative, but we're going to be looking at implementing some more strategic behavior changing type programs.
What are some of the common issues with young men and boys that have, you've reached out or MILAT has reached out to that you've seen from your experience?
Well, the three topics that we are covering at this seminar, I think they are very pertinent to what young men go through. If you look at our society today, most of the problems that young men face comes from conflict resolution or lack of conflict resolution skills, a poor self-esteem, and a lack of being able to handle relationships with male counterparts. So we saw it pertinent that the ministry brought up this seminar, and that we should use this seminar as a platform for the young men to create a culture where they understand that young men's voice should be heard.
Definitely. And again, we can't say it enough that, that narrative needs to change. That, big men don't cry, man up, walk it off, basically just dismiss things.
Yes.
Men are not allowed to be emotional in this society, and so how are we going to, both organizations, how are we going to start changing that narrative? Well, I guess symposiums like this that are coming up, the events that are coming up, it's a good start.
Yes.
And how do we go further?
Because one of the things I want to add about this symposium on Friday, it's open to all members of the public, both male and female. So we understand sometimes with certain programs that engage men or boys, it should be a male-only space, so as to create a comfortable room where, you can feel they can air your views. But we have to understand that, we don't live in this world alone.
Right.
And women have sons, nephews, brothers, uncles, husbands. And as we invite them as well to come out, you may get some information who may be able to help your own family member and somebody in the neighborhood. So this Friday at the Myla Training Academy in Mausika, we are having this seminar. It begins at 8:30. One of the good things is Mylat has sponsored free transport from the bus route at the Mausika intersection.
Okay.
So members who are traveling, all you have to do, transport will be available from 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. So to be honest, all it begins at 9, we're catering for the Trinity time. Uniqueness, all right? So from 7 to 10 a.m. And at the end of the seminar, you're going to be shuttled back to the closest point for public transportation.
Okay, that is excellent news. And if persons wanted more information before the seminar comes up, how would they get into contact with either organization?
So if you would like to RSVP, you can call 627-1163. And the extension is 2068, and I'm going to repeat the number, 627-1163. The extension is 2068. If you're not too sure if you're coming, you can still come down on the day, and you can register there.
And if persons wanted more information from Mylat?
They can contact 64 Mylat, and they'll be able to get the additional information.
Nice and simple. All right, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this morning. We are speaking on the International Men's Day 2019. There's an upcoming symposium on Friday. So check in with Mylat or the OPM in the Gender Affairs Division and get more information. And